growth. So when we understand the Domar model, we are looking at what he has mentioned, capacity effect of investment. Okay, a capacity effect of investment means that when the economy undertakes investment, what is the investment and what is the strength of that investment to bring about economic growth, because investment is going to set off a multiple effect. Okay, and what is the multiple effect that this investment is going to set off? It is like this, that when an investment is undertaken, okay, when an investment is undertaken, it leads to what is called as generation of employment opportunities in the economy. Okay, investments immediate effect is that it is going to create employment opportunities. Why? Because investment means you are thinking of starting of new economic projects, infrastructure projects. It could be factories, it could be industries, okay, or it could be any other economic activity. So this economic activity, all right, is going to result into what is creation of what is called as investment, all right, and this investment has the strength in itself, okay, has the capacity in itself to promote economic growth, okay, to promote economic growth, and that is what we are going to observe. Okay, and that is what we are going to observe. All right, now what are we going to talk of, class? We are talking about increase in national income according to Domar model depends upon the increase in the stock of capital and productivity of capital. Now stock of capital and productivity of capital are two different elements. Okay, there are two different elements. Now what exactly do we mean by stock of capital? Okay, now if we try to look at the stock of capital of the Indian economy over a period of time, okay, over a period of time, it means that India started building her capital stock immediately after independence. Okay, and she started into the construction of the secondary sector, that is construction of industries, construction of socio-economic infrastructure for the economy. And over the years, okay, till today, if we look at the capital stock of the Indian economy is really very huge. Okay, the capital stock of the economy is huge. Now this stock of capital is responsible for production. Okay, it is responsible for production. Production of what, class? Production of goods and services, okay, from that part of the stock of capital which has been set up in the form of industries and factories and firms. Example, if we have five iron and steel factories in India, then all these steel factories are going to indulge in the production of iron and steel products. Correct? I hope you understood the difference between stock of capital and productivity of capital. Tell me, have you all understood? Yes, class, have you all understood very quickly? Okay, yes, in the chat
Yeah.
box, if I get replies, yes, okay, so I'll move ahead now. Okay, all right. Pele, first you understand what I'm trying to explain over here, okay, and then I'll teach you all what the equation is. Okay, then absolute increase in national income can be obtained from increase in stock of capital multiplied by output produced per unit of capital. Okay, now what do you mean by output produced by per unit of capital? Okay, if you remember, I had given you an example. One machine is equal to 10 glasses. Remember, when we were doing the Harrod model, I had given you an example that one machine is able to produce 10 glasses, if you can recollect. Okay, then that is called as, okay, per unit of capital, how much is the output produced? What is the per unit of capital? The per unit of capital is that one machine. Okay, and how much is that unit of capital producing? It is going to produce for us how many glasses? 10 glasses. Correct, class? Okay, so what would be my capital stock, and how I will express my what is called as capital output ratio if I want to? Okay, how am I going to express it? I'm going to express it as one machine, okay, is to 10 glasses. Okay, one machine is to 10 glasses. So this becomes one unit of capital which is responsible for producing 10 units of a glass. okay, which is useful for producing 10 units of a glass. Okay, so that is what we say, that you are talking about the stock of capital which is going to be multiplied by the output produced per unit of capital. Okay, so your 1 unit will produce 10. Okay, the second unit of the same machine is again going to produce how many glasses, class? 10 glasses. The third unit of that machine, how many glasses it is going to produce? Again, it is going to produce what is called as 10 units of a glass. Correct? Okay, so that is what the sentence means. So whatever is the change in capital is nothing but it is the level of investments that are made. Okay, level of investments that are made. So I hope you all understood this much. Clear to you all, class? Any questions? Any questions so far?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. Shall I proceed then? Okay. Now we will look
Yes,
at
ma'am.
the equation, okay, on the left hand side of the screen. What I have here is delta y. What is delta y, class? Change in income. Whose income? The entire economy's income. We are talking at a macro level, okay? Domar model, Harvard model, these are all macroeconomic models. So what do they talk of? They talk about change in income at a aggregate level, okay? This change in income is a result of change in income resulting from a change in the level of capital invested. तो ये जो delta K है, it is the level of capital that has changed in the economy, which brings about a change in income. Now, what do you mean by change in capital? Okay, let us say, for example, at this point of time, let us say there is equilibrium, there is status quo in the economy, there are no changes. Okay, and when these changes are happening, all right, in this change, it is so happening that let us say that you and I are earning 1,000 rupees income. Okay, you and I are laborers and we are earning 1,000 rupees income. Now when we are earning 1,000 rupees income, it means that out of that 1,000 rupees we are going to spend something and we are going to save something. Okay, we are going to spend something and we are going to save something. In other words, okay, what it means is our income which is there, it is going to be broken up into what I've told you earlier: consumption plus savings. Correct, class? Consumption plus savings. So out of that 1,000 income, let us say our savings are going to be equal to how much, class? 200. Okay, our savings are going to be equal to 200. Now what is going to happen to this 200? This 200 which is going to be saved is ultimately, according to Harald Dormer, okay, and of course according to other economists, it is going to be, class,
Investment.
yes, it is going to be invested. And where is it going to be invested? It is going to be invested in what is called as a stock of capital. It is going to be invested for a stock of capital. Okay, yes, you all agree? And that stock of capital could be starting off a new setup of an project, economic activity, or maybe a new machinery is purchased. All right, and when that new capital is added, okay, when that new capital is added because of, you know, these 200 rupees, that new capital is going to be this that new capital is called as delta K. Are you understanding, class? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what happens with this new capital delta K? This delta K is going to bring about, all right, what is called as delta Y. It is going to bring about a change in income. Okay, it is going to bring about a change in income. And what is that change in income? It is nothing but I. Okay, I, ये जो यहाँ पे मैंने I already आपको दिखाया है. Okay, dot sigma. Okay, now what is this sigma sign? Okay, ये sigma sign क्या है? This is what I'm going to explain slightly later. But I hope you understood that change in income is an outcome of change in capital, okay, which is nothing but a result of level of investment, which is nothing but a result of, the savings that have been invested. And that savings has come from income, because in a given status quo, okay, income is equal to saving plus consumption. Okay, clear, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Now I will move to the next slide. Huh? So this is the supply side. Okay. Now what happens over here? We have the demand side class. Now what is happening in a demand side? Okay. Growth in capacity output. Okay. Growth in capacity output means capacity of the capital to help you to produce more output. Okay. Will be realized if aggregate demand or income increases by a sufficient amount. Okay. Now this is explained with the help of the multiplier theory. Now what happens is, I just now told you income is equal to C plus S. Remember, I told you income is equal to C plus S. Remember class? Income, okay, is equal to C, okay, plus what is called as S. Okay, income is equal to C plus S. Savings, how much I told you all class? Savings I told you is 200.
200.
200. And what was my income class? I told you it is
1000.
1000. Okay, so if 200 is the savings and if income is 1000, then it automatically means that my consumption is
800.
800. Then my consumption is 800, correct? So this 800 rupees which I spend, okay, this 800 rupees which I spend, okay, is my expenditure, which is going to become somebody else's income. Okay, suppose I go to the shopkeeper and I spend 800 rupees in a grocery shop, then my consumption of 800 is going to become income of 800 for somebody else. Okay, so one man's consumption is going to become another man's income. Is that clear? And like me, we have all other consumers in the economy who are conducting the activity of consumption. Okay, that is, they are conducting the activity of what is called as aggregate demand according to Keynes, correct? There is aggregate demand for goods and services, correct? So that is what he is saying, that there will be aggregate demand. Okay, and what will happen, this aggregate demand is nothing but the amount of money that we are going to consume on goods and services. Okay, and when we consume on goods and services, it is going to create income for somebody else. That somebody else will now get a new income of 800. Okay, out of that 800 they are going to consume something, they will save something, and this cycle, okay, will continue, and it will lead to generation of income in a multiplier effect. Okay, in a multiplier effect. Multiplier effect means when you set a dice rolling, okay, it rolls, it rolls, it rolls, and ultimately it stops. So in the same way, the income also is generated and generated as long as there is aggregate demand in the economy to take care of. This is pure Keynesian economics, which has been adopted by the Domar model, okay, under the demand side of Domar model. Okay, under the demand side of Domar model class. Okay, under Domar, under the demand side of Domar model. Now, according to this theory, increase in income is given by an increase in investment and the size of multiplier. Now, where did that 1000 rupees income come from? It has come from some investment that has been made earlier in the economy by some capitalist, and it has created employment opportunities. Okay, and it has generated income to some set of people. Okay, and that some set of people is you and me, correct? I told you. And what is the income that is generated, class? What is the income that is generated? I told you the income that is generated to us is to the tune of rupees 1000. Okay, it has generated to the extent of 1000. So with that 1000 income, we are going to undertake consumption also, and we are going to undertake what is called as savings also. Okay, class, we are also going to undertake savings, right? Have you all understood this much? Okay,
Yes,
all right.
ma'am.
Now,
Yes, ma'am.
one important, yes, okay, thank you. One important, what you can say, conclusion. One important conclusion, okay, of what is called as what I'm saying is one important conclusion of this income generation, all right, and of course of the entire what you call it as the Domar model is that when, okay, that when you are going to look at what is called as you're going to look at the income generated, okay, and at the same time you are also going to look at what is called as the amount of investment that is going to help you in multiplication, all right, then that is what is called as the demand side being activated, all right, and that is going to help you in what is called as income generation. Okay, and that is called as income generation, all right, income generation. Now according to this theory, increase in income is given by increase in investment. So if investment in the economy is more, it will lead to more employment opportunities, and it will also lead to what is called as more income generation. If investment is less, it will lead to less income generation. Okay, this is something that must be remembered. Okay, this is something that must be remembered very, very carefully. Okay, now the growth of income must be large enough to generate demand equal to the capacity of growth in output. So income must not be small. If the income is very small, Say's law of markets will be repeated. Remember, I had told you under Say's law that wages were reduced. Okay, that wages were reduced, right? And when these wages were reduced, all right, what happened? There was a reduction in consumption. People, that is labor, who felt a wage cut according to Pigu's policy, all right, when they realized that there was a wage cut, all right, in this wage cut, what happened was they could not get, okay, sufficient demand for goods and services, and that resulted in oversupply. Okay, so that must not happen, and that is why the last point over here says that growth in income must be large enough, okay, to generate demand equal to the capacity growth in output. Okay, equal to the capacity growth in output. So this equation over here is delta y, okay, which is a reciprocal of saving, okay, which causes a change in investment. Correct, I told you y is equal to c plus s, okay, multiplied by delta I, all right, and that means that savings, all right, like I always told you, is going to be ultimately resulting into what is called as investment. Okay, it is investment. So that 200 rupees which we save is again going to be invested, so that will become what is called as new investment. So ye jo delta I hai, this delta I which is there is nothing but, okay, the level of investment which is responsible for what is called as this point, growth in income. Okay, it must result in growth in income. Yes, class, so far so clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay, okay. So we'll take up the next slide, okay, and then we'll try to understand the model further. Okay. Now, class, I don't want you all to, for the time being, look at this side. Now, don't look at the equations. I want you all to understand what is, typed first. Okay, we are going to look at Domar's growth equation in terms of rate of growth. Okay, that is derivation of rate of growth. Derivation of rate of growth means how to derive, okay, how to arrive at economic growth. Okay, how to arrive at economic growth, or how to arrive at the national income generation. Okay, how national income must be generated. Okay, all right, now see, first point says that growth of capital is expressed as the ratio of total income. Agreed, class? Growth of capital, how much of capital will increase in an economy, that is how much of new industries India can set up, how much of new capital India can generate, how much of new infrastructure India can generate, that is called a growth of capital. Okay, now that growth of capital is expressed as the ratio of total income. Total income means if India's national economy is huge, then she can definitely generate huge capital. Correct, she can definitely generate huge capital. For example, if you look at a country like the US or certain European countries, or a country like Japan, they have a huge national income, okay, economic growth, and therefore the growth of capital stock with that country is also more. Correct? Hope you understood this. All right. Now, the total income, okay, ratio is called as growth of income, which is expressed as delta y upon y. Okay, what is delta y upon y? Delta y is change in income, okay, and y is income. Okay, so delta y is change in income resulting from a change in income. Okay, change in income because of some level of income. In other words, class, in other words, 1000 rupees income example I gave you, we all are earning, correct? So that is our income level, and that is the status quo of the economy at that particular time. So with that 1000 rupees income, we all are going to spend how much? 800. I told you, correct? I gave you an example that we all are going to spend 800. So when we start spending 800, it is going to create multiple incomes to new set of people. It is going to create income to a new set of people because money circulates and we purchase goods and services, correct? So what happens is when money circulates, it leads to the creation of more income. That is, the people who are not earning income, they start earning income, and those people who earn income, for them it is going to be change in income. It is going to be change in income. And when our income and their income, and when they spend the third party's income, when all that is added up, when all that is added up, okay, you ultimately end up at what is called as delta y. Okay, you end up at delta y. Okay, I hope you understood. You ending up at delta y, it means that economy has new income. So it moves from one equilibrium level of income to a higher equilibrium level of income. Okay, it moves from one equilibrium level of income to a higher equilibrium level of income. Okay, all right. Then let's move further. What is delta K? It is increment in capital. Okay, delta K is increment in capital. Now, how increment in capital takes place? This I have already explained to you, okay, in the earlier slide, but just for your reference, Y is equal to C plus S. Okay, how much is S in our example class? I told you before. How much is it?
200. 200.
200. Very correct. Okay, so 200 is going to be invested, correct? Okay, it is going to be invested in some project. Okay, let us say in starting of a metro project. Okay, say for example that 200 is invested, and that 200 we'll assume is not 200 rupees, it is 200 crores, huh? Okay, so where is it going? It is going for the creation of what is called as delta K. That means the economy already has capital, but now new capital is being set up. That is called as increment in capital. Addition to existing capital, increment, marginal, additional. Okay, already India ke paas railway setup hai, but we are setting up a new extra line, so that will become a new railway track which is being put up. That is a new change in delta K is taking place, and that is increment in capital. That is increment in capital. So it is like starting a new activity, a new economic activity, a new infrastructure project, a new socio infrastructure project, for example. And that is going to happen when there is going to be delta K. And when will there be delta K? Okay, delta K will be there when there is a level of investment. And when will there be investment? Only if there is savings. And when can there be savings? Only if there is income. And when can there be income? When obviously, okay, there is some previous level of investment that has taken place in the economy. So ये जो cycle है class, it continues, okay, and it propels and it multiplies, okay, and it enlarges, okay, and it enlarges. Correct? I hope you all understood this much, class. I hope you all understood this much. Yes? Okay. Now, assuming output capital ratio remains constant. Okay, assuming that capital output ratio is going to remain constant. Okay, what is that assumption, class? Okay, that assumption is nothing but the same example I'm teaching you all again. 1:10. One machine is going to produce how many glasses, class? 10 glasses.
10
Okay, तो
glasses.
ये क्या हो गया क्लास? ये जो है, it is nothing but it is the capital output ratio that is going to remain the same. It is going to remain the same. मतलब ये जो है ना, ये that is this. That is this. Okay, it is going to remain the same. It is going to remain the same. Clear to you all? Yes? Okay, so if I
Yes, ma'am.
also bring in the second machine, then the second machine is also going to help me to produce only 10 glasses and not more. Okay, that second machine is also going to help me to produce only 10 glasses and not more. Okay, and definitely that is going to lead to what is called as my increase in output is going to be the same as before, and my capital output ratio remains the same. Okay, because if we have an increase in the capital output ratio, it means that what will happen is that you will have a new capital, a new sophisticated capital, and it will start producing more output, and it could start generating more income. That is good. But if it generates only more output but does not generate new income, then it will become a problem, and we'll get back to Say's law, where we may end up with overproduction or oversupply or over surplus. Okay, or over surplus. Okay, all right. Now I upon Y, okay, investment as the ratio of national income. How much is invested depends upon the national income. Definitely, class. I told you, okay, there is a certain level of income in the economy. That income is going to be broken up into the same thing. Again, I'm repeating, C plus S. Okay, where S is going to become equal to I, and I is ultimately nothing but the level of investment. Okay, and the net result of this, okay, the net result of one minute, the net result of this, the net result of this is going to be capital to output ratio, which is denoted by Domar as a sigma, which is denoted by Domar as a sigma. So instead of writing delta y upon delta k, or instead of writing I upon y, okay, he decides to denote it as sigma. Okay, sigma. And savings, he also says, is the ratio of national income. That is aggregate income in the economy. Okay, the entire aggregate income of the economy is definitely going to be broken up into C plus S, and some part of it is going to be invested later. Okay, some part of it is going to be invested later. I hope you understood these equations, class. Sorry, not
Yes, ma'am.
equations, this part. Okay, this part is clear. Okay, all right. Now we will understand these equations, and then we'll stop for the day. Otherwise, it will become like bombarding of too much of Domar model on you. Okay, ठीक है. अभी ध्यान से देखना. What is delta y? Now start answering the questions if you can. What is delta y, class?
Change in income.
Very correct. Change in income.
New income
Change,
produced.
yes. Change in income happens because of some level of income that is already existing in the economy. Okay. Some level of income that is already existing in the economy. Okay. Now that is going to cause, okay, that is going to cause what is called as delta K upon delta Y. Okay, so change in income is going to bring about some level of consumption, some level of savings. That savings is going to be invested, and when that savings is invested, you are going to get some new level of capital in the economy. Correct, some new level of capital in the economy. Okay, and that is going to be multiplied, and what you will have is delta K will cancel out, and what is left is change in income resulting from a change, a change in income resulting from some level of income. Agreed? Agreed, class? Okay. So if you look at this plain equation, then it is delta K, that is that small increment in capital, that is this part, new investment that takes place, okay, in the economy, is responsible for bringing about a change in income. Okay, change in income. Okay. Then you have over here what is called as GY. Okay, what is GY, class? GY is growth of income. Okay, growth of income in a macroeconomic setup, okay, is nothing but I upon Y. Okay, it is I upon Y. That is, growth of income depends upon the level of investment that is taking place because of a level of income. Okay, because there is income, there is going to be investment, and that is going to ultimately create increase in what is called as income. Okay, all right, multiplied by delta Y upon delta K. Now delta Y upon delta K is change in income resulting from a change in what is called as an increment capital. Okay, an increment in capital. Correct, class? Okay. Now that is what is called as delta K. Okay. Then you have Gy. Okay. Gy is equal to I upon Y. Again, okay, the same thing I've brought it down. Okay, is multiplied by sigma. Okay, is multiplied by sigma. Okay, what is this sigma? All right, sigma is nothing but S upon Y, savings, which is also a function of income. Okay, multiplied by sigma. So what happens is sigma is something which is nothing but capital output ratio that depends upon investment also, and which depends upon savings also, and which depends upon savings also. Right, class? Okay, so
Yes, ma'am.
yes, okay, this is what is for today, and I hope you all have understood. Okay, I hope you all have understood this. Okay, all right. Okay. Hmm? All right, class. 1 minute. Any questions you have, class? Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Right. So in the next part of the series, we will see the next part. Okay. Because if we keep on going over here, it might become a little bit of confusions. If you all have understood this much, then great. Nothing like it. Okay.